kung paano ako sumasabit sa jeep, going to school and coming back. All of those made me who I am, the way I feel, what I want to solve.
Do you think that Filipinos have become accustomed to the bare minimums?
So there's no excuse for ugly design and bad design. Architecture can give equity to all.
Do you think that the National Building Code of the Philippines should be updated?
Challenge the status quo. Listen to the users. Then put malasakit.
How do you maintain your integrity in an industry that, especially in the Philippines, is riddled with corruption?
Seeing my integrity. Because I cannot speak here with you and look at you in the eye if I myself don't have it.
In our country, there's a lot of issues. Now, when you see, say for example, another bridge collapse or another public infrastructure project becoming controversial, what is your first reaction?
Obviously, somewhere in that part of the building, something is substandard and it's not safe for the Filipinos. So, for me, I think the marching order is check them all.
Architecture is often measured by the buildings we see. But for today's guest, it's measured by the lives those buildings shape. From the new Clark International Airport and the new Clark City Sports Hub to Bangkóta, the Philippine Pavilion at Expo 2020 Dubai, Architect Royal Pineda has spent decades designing spaces that have come to define a modern vision of the Philippines. As the founder of Royal Pineda Plus, and one of the country's leading voices on modern Filipino architecture, his work goes beyond aesthetics. It challenges us to think about identity, public spaces, and the responsibility architects carry in shaping how we live. Today, we explore what architecture can teach us about standards, culture, and the future of our cities. Architect Royal Pineda, welcome to Lines to Legacies.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you so much for having me here.
Of course, it's a pleasure.
Happy to have you here, Architect Royal.
Irene. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
First of all, a question. Welcome back to Dubai.
Thank
This
you.
is how many times have you been to Dubai, if I may ask? If you can still remember.
I cannot count because during the expo and the pandemic, right? It happened both at the same time. We've been doing the pavilion, so I was back and forth, and some business deals and things that I did after the Bangkóta. So it was a lot already, and then I needed to pause for a while coming back here because I got busy in Manila. And it so happened that I'm passing by. I was in Kazan. I was in the Russia ASEAN conference and passed by from Moscow. Decided to see everybody. Christian invited me. I said I'm supposed to stay only 15 hours here, but might as well do it 2 days now.
Yeah. And we're grateful that you actually came for UAP Dubai and to give the talk on Pasig City Hall, which I believe was very remarkable and well done.
Yes, and it's so timely with today's climate.
Yes. But before we jump into that, like one thing I'd like to ask is, what do you like most about Dubai as a city?
Well, as a city, it's always been the museum of modernity for me, for architecture. No, and I always tell this to the architects of the Philippines, the UAP. It's a nice place to see how they flex modernity. Yeah. Plus, there's, it was a period that they were really building, and sky was the limit. You have the Khalifa, you have the Al Arab, and many other beautiful architecture done by the most, I would say, the famous and good and best architects of the world. So it's really a museum. So if you want to see the modernity of architecture, you come to Dubai. Yeah. You want to see the old, you go to Europe. But if you want to see again the future, Dubai, Asia, you have China, Singapore. This is where this kind of buildings are happening. And I got excited seeing that. But more than the buildings, I got more excited seeing the Filipinos being well respected in Dubai. I felt good about it, and I really felt that if we will come this way to any country, and if a country will receive us with the respect and value, the Filipinos will always excel.
Yeah,
No, I mean, given the opportunity,
that's true.
it's inspiring.
What do you think our home country, the Philippines, what lesson do you think they can learn from a first world country such as the UAE? And likewise, what do you think the UAE can take from the Philippines?
The first question, there's a lot. There's a lot of things that we can learn from a first world country, obviously.
Yeah.
I would say the very first is discipline. No, because to be honest, the Philippines. I was talking to the director of development of Singapore. And they were saying to me, Royal, your building code. I studied your building code, and you have more building restrictions than us in Singapore. And what he said was like, I think it's really just about implementation, enforcement. And that's a first world country. So, meaning to say, discipline is very important also. No? So it's really how you put the city together, the country together. There's leadership.
I see.
I think that's critical. Because the rest follows. I mean, if you believe in the system of a government, you invest on it. You you invest because it works. If I'm going to put $1 million of my assets and my investment, I'm not going to put it where I'm not sure if this government will honor all my deals. They know the potential of the Philippines, to be honest with you. I was in Russia. They all want to invest. They want to buy islands. They want to put up resorts.
As someone who has worked with like an institution such as Pasig, where they have sort of built a reputation of good governance, what do you think other like local government units or like the Philippines in general can learn from best practices or sort of just that commitment to good governance? And why do you think that's important?
For me, good governance is not even, it's not a thing of a genius. Good governance is simple. It's malasakit. If you have malasakit to every Filipino, you start to think of something good for the people. And that's creativity. And yes, it's good to know the best practice of the world, to see outside and see what they have cracked, like what they have resolved. That's good. But my point is, if you listen enough to a basic Filipino, how do you come home every time you work, let's say in Makati, and you're gonna go home to Quezon City, you're gonna ride the MRT, the bus, and you see them queuing in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then they leave their children sleeping, and then go to office. Then after work, queue again.
Yeah.
Reaches the house at 10 p.m. The children are sleeping already. They never have a good life, a decent life.
Yeah.
You just listen to that and look at that. Design will tell you, and it will ask you, how do you solve this kind of life?
I think when it comes to looking at the Philippines, even within Manila itself, that example alone, transportation, public transportation, it seems like such a headache to even consider. But we can see how that impacts the quality of life or the daily schedule that the typical working Filipino goes through. But when it's easy to identify these problems, how do you approach these solutions in a more digestible manner, or something that, given the way that Philippine governments usually operate, how do you implement this, or how do you make it known
Happen.
to the people that it can happen and it's not just a dream, a faraway dream?
I call it practical luxury. You have to keep it practical because we're not first world. You cannot just say, "Hey, I'm gonna put up a railway such and so on." That's a long-term plan. Yes, that's good. It's not that we're not saying that that's not good, but meaning to say, if you see problems that's happening, like as I mentioned, you see people queuing. There's no enough roof for them when it's raining and the heat of the sun and all. So what do you do? What do you do? So as a design challenge, when you see that, every time I see that, I see Kamuning with all that height,
Yeah.
no? So knock it down because it's in the wrong place. The MRT is already ascending. So if you put it here, of course you have to go high. But if you put it here when it's low, then it's practical for the people. Is that something rocket science or luxurious? No, it's practical. So the point to reach and make it to the vision of what is modern Philippines is the roadmap is to be practical. And that is design.
I love how that's very Filipino to think about it, of being practical luxury. Now, Architect Royal, people often assume that the difference between great architecture or great cities is budget. How much of great architecture is about budget, and how much is about standards?
Great for me is subjective.
Talk to us about that.
Well, the commercial architecture that we see, I would say Dubai there's a lot of great buildings, great architecture, because wow, the budgets are just enormous, right? And yes, it will create an impact. It's creating a spectacle. No, it will awe you. Like, wow, that's great. That's one great. That's like for me commercial great. No. But what I'd like to do as an architect, a Filipino architect, is that the greatness of my work is that I have to make the people great. To feel great. To feel great that they are living in a city that is thinking of them. That when they enter a city hall, it thought of me. It gave me a long canopy. It put me under the shade. Even when it's raining, I can transact to the next building, to the next building, and to the next building. There is that gesture and a language that starts to be felt by the user and say, it works for me.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, great.
Yeah. And I like to recall what you said earlier about like architecture that sort of provides a sense of dignity to the people, to use your word, because just the architectural feature of providing a long canopy in order for people to walk is something that, is it's not rocket science. It's very practical.
It's about the experience.
It's about the experience, but at the same time, it's something that seems to be not the case all the time for Filipino in the context of the Philippines. Why do you think that is?
I think well, again, this falls to the leaders, no? And because they're the one deciding. They're the one dreaming for their constituents. And I believe I'm also lucky because I found a host, like the city, Pasig, with the Mayor Vico Soto, who also welcomed the idea. Because I can present great ideas to anyone.
Yeah.
But if they don't see it, if they don't appreciate it, if they don't see the vision, they'll just set it aside.
Yeah.
But my point is like for us architects, I would like you to always be vocal about your vision because words are powerful. But before you let go of the word, think about 1,000 times of your vision and make sure that once you're ready, in any moment that it's needed, just leave it on the table. Doesn't matter if you or someone else will do it, but because that idea is a gift from you and you're willing to give it, if they get you, perfect, beautiful. If they don't, you're able to help fix the nation.
It seems that architects are visionaries. We plan beyond ourselves. We're always thinking of the community, the environment, how to better it, how to make lives elevated in terms of their everyday experience. But then obviously a lot of stakeholders come into play. It's not just architects that can make this vision a reality. We need people to fund this. We need people to be on our side.
Yes.
We need people to agree, like you said, with this vision.
Policymakers.
Yeah.
Policymakers. So going back to the building code, it's interesting that you brought it up and that you mentioned even people from Singapore studied the National Building Code. Do you think that the National Building Code of the Philippines should be updated?
It should be. There's a lot of things that needs to be revised. I would even cite an example. Like I was riding my car with my driver, and then one time we were passing by this ramp, and I was telling him, just be careful. I think there's something in the ramp, no? And then he was saying, it's difficult to turn. But when I look at it, it's within the standards. But when I was listening to him and he was making the turn, sir, hirap pumihit, no? Or it's hard to maneuver. So I listened. Because this guy has been driving for me for 20 years. And driving for him is already his everyday thing. And so I told myself, if that standard is a standard, and it feels difficult for this driver who's been driving for so long, what more if it's a new driver?
Yeah.
So my point is, can I make it better for these drivers? Can I make it better for the Filipinos? So I changed my standard. So standards are just benchmarks. But challenge the status quo.
Yeah.
Listen to the users.
Yes.
Then put malasakit. Have the heart to say, I want better for you. I'll make these roads better. I'll make this city hall with 3 lanes so that whenever somebody's being dropped off, I still can pass by and pass through the area. And the buses can still, with the mass transport, they can still be there. They're all equally given the opportunity to enjoy the facility. Not because you're riding and you have your chauffeur, you're the ones who's really just getting the whole convenience.
Yeah.
No. Everybody. Architecture can give equity to all. And that's the power of design.
Do you think that Filipinos have become accustomed to the bare minimums?
Yes. We've been brainwashed to say, oh, we don't have the budget. It's a government project, that's why it's lousy.
Yeah.
You have to take it. You have to swallow it. Because it's government. Because we don't have the money. Because we're not first world.
You just have to accept it for what it is, and it won't
Essentially.
change.
And
Yeah.
that's my discomfort. You're telling me that's the budget? I'll solve it for you. I'll design for you. But there's a better way of making it a modern Filipino city hall or an airport or the Southeast Asian Stadium and the aquatic centers. I mean, those are all within the budget, the acceptable, allowable budget.
Yeah.
We didn't break any rules or any law. But it's recognized by the world to be the one of the most beautiful airports in the world, competing with the rest, which are $1.2 billion budget. Ours is what? Fraction of that. Barya lang.
Yes.
Pero, the identity can be out there globally. And it's recognized. So there's no excuse for ugly design and bad design. You know, budget can be done, can be worked on. Of course, there's a realistic budget.
Yeah.
A lot about modern architecture in the Philippines is about trying to address problems that have been there for a long time. But then, in your daily practice, realistically speaking, how often is it that you introduce something new? Because it takes going outside of the Philippines to realize things can be better. Other countries manage to do it, and then it makes us feel sad or bad. Why can't we do the same in the Philippines? So then you can look at it where people decide to stay living abroad because it's a more convenient, comfortable life. You also feel that there are people who want to bring that back to the Philippines and to let people know better is possible and you do deserve it and you don't have to struggle to achieve it. So in your daily practice, how do you navigate these things?
Well, as I mentioned first, your digital things are already the windows to the world, right?
Correct.
Traveling, definitely. Before you have to travel to see the world, right?
Yeah.
But now with the internet, you know, everybody's showing their thing. Like, so you see different cultures without traveling. That's just one. But my point is that the thing that fuels me in constantly having design and moving forward with what is better is really always seeing what's wrong with this. How do I make it easier for a Filipino? For me, it becomes more truthful to first observe and understand the nature of things. That's why I shared with you all that I believe in the nature of things. And the nature of things is, it can be the nature of a problem. You cannot solve the problem without understanding the nature of the problem.
Yeah.
Right? So that's nature of things. So if I bring you to architecture, what is the nature of the design challenge? Obviously, that ramp is not wide enough. So that is the nature of that. But I think what's important is you have to be sensitive and really listen. Because when design does not listen, it will not solve the problem. So it takes humility.
Yeah.
It takes humility to be able to create something great.
Yeah.
You don't just create something great instantly. You have to be humble first.
Yeah. And it takes it's a process, and it takes a lot of time for us to build that muscle of, I would say, greatness. Now, Architect Royal, you're very, and even early during our GMM, you were vocal about corruption. Now, in our country, there's a lot of issues. Now, when you see, say, for example, another bridge collapse or another public infrastructure project becoming controversial, what is your first reaction as a citizen and as an architect?
First, of course, I feel sad about the people, the country. Then you start to become angry. You feel it. But you have to manage it. Because at the end of the day, I'd rather put my energy to where I think I can solve the problem. Because being angry will not help. I'd rather find a way to say, when I see those bridges collapsing and schools, Like, with the recent earthquakes, did you see
Yeah.
the schools? I
Yes.
mean, they collapsed. And they admitted all our buildings are substandard.
Yeah.
So for me, right away, if you guys are already announcing that it's substandard, for me, check them all. Check them all. Assess all the buildings of the government, the public buildings, because it's already announced.
Yeah.
Obviously, somewhere in that part of the building, something is substandard and it's not safe for the Filipinos. So, for me, I think the marching order is let's check all of them. Put the budget there. Because you don't want to wait for another building to collapse knowing that it's already substandard.
That's true. How do you think us as architects in the Philippines and even here in the Middle East can assist you and or can help this cause of public awareness, public safety, making sure that our voices and the rights and the dignity of of Filipinos are, heard by the government? How do you think we can mobilize as a unit?
Well, I'll speak for what I saw. No, like you guys are, with your events, and I've been seeing UAP Dubai, how your activities are, and what you guys are doing. I think it's important for you that if you share what you've been creating here in Dubai, like your events, your GMM, you have a quality of an event, and it's not just social. It's not just about trying to create a community for the overseas workers, but it's really about developing and refining and even bettering a Filipino, especially architects. So with that, I think if the Filipinos will start to think that way in the Philippines, to see that there's a way to be productive all the time. And not waste time. I think the country will progress. So, again, from an architectural point, like us, we're all architects here. How do you inspire a Filipino architect back home? How do you inspire a chapter? I was sharing it with Christian. How do you inspire another chapter? Maybe there's a way that you have a playbook, a template that you can share to them. And again, I was saying it doesn't have to be like if you're doing it in a cinema and my chapter is in Bukidnon, and I don't have that resource, I don't need to look for a cinema. I can have the GMM under a tree, a beautiful tree, maybe under a beautiful bamboo, because they have the big bamboo there and the tall bamboos, no. But what I'm saying is to embrace who you are, but then never stop bettering yourself. That's how I think you guys can do this. Like you can help. It doesn't make you less of a Filipino being here in Dubai.
Absolutely.
Correct. Yeah. And I love what you said about just, keeping these conversations open, making sure that we can influence even just a small part of the Filipino community or Filipino architects.
Yeah.
And I think this goes a really long way. You are an architect. How do you maintain your integrity in an industry that, especially in the Philippines, is riddled with corruption or toxicity? Or how do you maintain your sense of sanity or your integrity?
I'm also blessed because God is guiding me, because it can be very difficult. No, I think I get to work with the right people, like working with Vico. No, and we worked with Secretary Vince Dizon during those times. No, so I also designed how I can work with the government, the nature of things. You have to know the nature of the beast.
I see what you mean. And do you say for yourself that you have made a successful relationship with the beast?
Yes, without compromising my integrity. Because I cannot speak here with you and look at you in the eye if I myself don't have it.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's not going to be truthful. And that's what I've been trying to share with everybody, you know. To be truthful, it resonates in your creation. It goes beyond the physical. You feel the spirit of the architecture. That it's trying to really make you feel good because it's really from the heart, it's trying to serve you. It's not superficial. It's not just because, oh, it's beautiful, it's full of travertine. Oh, they did a very good project for the city because it's using the most expensive and all. But then it doesn't work. It's superficial.
Yeah.
Then you lose the integrity.
Yeah.
Then it becomes questionable,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So architecture is so powerful that it can really promote and present the Filipinos. I'm telling you. That's why I keep saying it's a modern Filipino. It's not just going to be Filipino. It's going to be a better Filipino.
Yeah.
You've learned how to tame the beast, but how do you slay it? Because you can't keep on working alongside it. I mean, when it comes to the completion or realization of a project, you have the vision, you have the plan, but then when it comes to execution, there are so many short changes that can happen.
So many factors involved, so many stakeholders that can question the integrity that you have built.
It makes or breaks. So then the intentions may be good, but then when it comes to the execution, that may be where the challenge lies. Or can you share with us, Architect Royal, where points of failure may be identified early on throughout maybe the design process or when it comes to coordinating with contractors,
etc.
Yeah, what do you have to say about that?
You know, architecture it's not a painting that is framed on a canvas that you control yourself. Architecture is an orchestra of many people. Again, stakeholders. So the most important thing, and this is how I do it, and I shared it a while ago with Pasig, I have to share the vision. Because once the vision is presented, because I believe in humanity, I still believe that there's goodness in all of us. We're designed to be good, to be kind, to have the heart. I mean, I'm sure whoever created us, I believe in my God, that God created me with kindness. And all of us. I don't think you'll design something to be bad. So as architects, you don't design something to fail, right?
Correct.
You design something to be good, to perform, to be even a champion, right? So if you share a vision, and the vision is for everybody, the intention and the dream is for everyone. And maybe you and the others are sitting and seeing the vision. I don't want to talk to you and convince you to work with me. I will just leave it on the table. Because once you believe in it, you become a part of the force that will make it happen. And again, as an unnaturalist, it's organic.
Yeah.
In all my projects, I just leave it that way. I can walk out of the room and say, if it happens, let it be. If it doesn't. But what's important is I was able to leave the idea on the table. Because for me, it's like, of course, sometimes we will say somebody might get your idea. But take note, if your vision and your projects are something that you believe is for humanity, you will be willing to leave it on the table.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what's more important is for it to realize. And if you do that, and all of a sudden you believe in it, everybody starts to put on their ideas. Oh, Royal, why don't we do this?
Yeah.
Your funds is not ready? because you only have 3 billion. Oh, we can do it this way. So all of a sudden, architect, so how much is really the cost of the first phase? Maybe more or less, it's going to be this amount. So let's find a way because they believe in the vision.
Yeah.
Now, because everybody has their role, your role is finance, you're in the engineering, you're in the legal, everybody starts to solve the problem. Because I am not a lawyer, I'm not an engineer, I am not a politico. I mean, we all have our own part. But what's happening is you are all doing it for the vision. Then it becomes a collaboration. Then it becomes the modern bayanihan.
So we can say that success is really achieved from the moment you plant the seeds of the vision. Maybe in the moment you are the only one in the room who sees it.
Yeah.
But at least
You have to share it.
it can leave an impression on the people. And then eventually, if it's something they feel is feasible, then it's something everyone is willing to invest in and to participate in. So we can say that the success of a project would be when everyone is collaborating
Yes.
and playing their part in the orchestra.
Yes. And you can be the conductor. Because you are the originator of the vision. You see, it's the birthright of an architect. That when you go to the site, you can say, can we study that corner? Because even if you don't see the walls yet, there's going to be a conflict. You're a walking BIM. Why? Because it's your vision.
Yeah.
The most knowledgeable of what the vision is in the room is you. Because it's your dreams.
Yeah.
It's your thoughts. So in fact, we all imagine it with people, right? With the users, right?
Yeah.
That's how we do it. That's why we can render them. We can sketch them. We already know what it's gonna be. So as you walk the site, doing inspection, your birthright, your gravitas, when you enter the room, is organic. It's natural. You don't even have to act it.
Yeah.
You don't have to play it. You have to be truthful about it because you really carry it.
Yeah.
That's the nature of the architect.
I'm curious to know, with all this passion that's coming out, has this always been easy for you? Is this a skill that you developed or accumulated through years of work?
It's discoveries. It was my discoveries. I don't think it's a skill. I think I'm just rediscovering myself. I'm just revealing myself. Because I believe that remember I told you that whoever created me knows the greatness inside me. And I just have to find out what is that greatness. There's greatness in you, all of us. There's a design for each. Whoever designed us has an infinite creativity. I'm sure he did not create a template that you will be exactly like what I'm doing. So what I've been trying to do was to reveal myself, to understand who I am. That goes back to identity.
Identity. Yeah.
So I keep looking, I keep searching. What makes this Filipino? What makes this me? What makes this the ancient me? And as I start to understand, what I'm sharing with you are all just experiences. I don't have to think about it. So it becomes easy. I'm sharing with you with my heart. I'm speaking from my heart. I'm not speaking from my head. Whatever you ask me, I just speak my heart. Because it's just my experience. I've felt it, I enjoyed it, and I'm playing.
Yeah.
So now, if you're asking me if it's difficult, I'm having a good time. I'm really having a good time doing this, sharing it with everyone, and really just, dreaming for later on you'll discover your own identity. Yours. And I'd be happy.
Yeah.
I'd be happy.
I just love how, you know, the passion there is just so genuine and authentic that, the way that you speak about architecture is really something that's very admirable. Earlier today, you spoke about Pasig City Hall, and the way you spoke about it, this project is personal to you. When you explain your concepts, you reminisce your memories of Pasig as a child, as a kid.
Mm.
If you could talk to the young royal who is an aspiring architect, knowing what you know now, knowing that you have designed an international airport, you have designed Bangkóta at a World Expo pavilion, you have designed all these marvelous projects. What would you tell your younger self?
Live your life the way you did. Because everything became my foundation.
Mm.
All the walking, seeing the revolving tower, not having the money to pay the tricycle,
Yeah.
so you have to walk, and then walk the pilapil and reach your destination. Be in a school of public school system, from elementary, high school, the biggest high school population in the Guinness Book of Records.
Oh.
No, 3 days of graduation. No, so
Wow.
and then Polytechnic University of the Philippines. I finished architecture with a tuition fee of 5,000 pesos,
Amazing.
Amazing.
500 per sem.
Amazing.
All of those to see kung paano ako sumasabit sa jeep, going to school and coming back. All of those made me who I am, the way I feel, what I want to solve.
Yeah.
Every time I see a jeep, and I was telling this in one of my talks. I remember that when I was a child, like grade 3 or grade 2, like I see the jeeps with so many people. Nakasabit, puno. And then I see a car passing by, only one passenger. And there was a question in my head. And that question was, ba't hindi siya nag-share? Bakit siya lang? So that question became somehow the curious mind became the direction of my design. I want to make it better.
While we're talking about your younger years, Architect Royal, can you share more with us about what it was like? How did you foster this creativity? Was it encouraged in your household? Is it something you might have inherited from your parents? Did you have a mentor?
Well, both my parents were teachers. Pero my dad loves to paint. My mom also. She was a science teacher, but she really draws the whole human anatomy. My dad used to paint like that, and I remember my dad, like whenever you have I have an assignment and you have to draw, he would draw it, show it to me as he draws it, and then crumples the whole paper. Now you do it. So I think the training was to be able to say that you did it. Have the ownership of saying that you did it. Experience it. And I think that's very important also. The integrity to say that you did it. Mentors, definitely, I think what's good was yung curious, yung lagi kong sinasabing, what will make this better? I used to sketch things like elementary days. I was sketching cars, buildings, but I never copied it exactly the way it is. I always have a version. I always have another version. I always want to make it better. Yung understanding kung what is better. To the point nga na Mona Lisa was in front of me because it's we have this small library with a portrait of Mona Lisa. Nung ini-sketch ko si Mona Lisa, nilagyan ko ng bangs. Kasi nanalaparan ako sa noo. So, but that was like my nature. And I think I carried that and when I was practicing or employed with Locsin, my mentor, Ed Ledesma, was very vocal about it also. Na, Royal, I didn't really mentor you. Well, of course, he's my mentor. I saw him how he worked and I was inspired by him. But because what he was trying to tell me was like, you were doing it, learning it on your own. You have your own way of doing it. You have your own way of learning it.
Yeah.
So I was not really mentoring you. I think you can never be passive. I think it's important to understand that whatever happens in your life, it's all important. It matters. And there's a moment wherein that moment that you think it was not important will have another moment in the future that you will just pull out that experience and say, I'd rather really just knock down the whole kamuning. Because that's always been your solution.
Yeah.
But it's filed. Now, the right moment came. Can we do it? Can we do the design? Just pull it out. I've already thought of it a million times. And it's here. Just knock it down, move it there.
Yeah.
Are you a genius? No.
But it goes back to your idea of practicality.
Yes.
Architect Royal, your message to young architects out there.
Young architects like you,
Like us.
like you.
Recently, we just had the results come out of the
Yes,
and the
architecture
new ones,
licensure
the
exam.
newest.
So even the freshest ones.
Yeah, and I would love to congratulate also my alma mater. They're also top one. No?
Congratulations.
And I think there's another 2 schools, no, for yung numbers of passers, no. Well, for them, the new ones, it will always be exciting, but it will never be easy. It will never be easy. And when I say it's never gonna be easy, that's good. Because that means if you have a way to make it easy, then you start to create something genius. If you can solve the difficult, then there's a reason why you're designing. Because if you're just gonna repeat what's been done before, like this cup. If you will let me look at this cup, I will not do it the same way. I will question it. Will it be easier if I curve this a little so that it doesn't slip, so it doesn't move? Or it will be easier if it's bigger as a handle? I will not take it the way it's given to me. I will challenge it
You always challenge it somehow.
That's beautiful.
to make it better. Not just to challenge it just because you want to challenge it for the, just for the thought of it.
It's more of allowing the room for improvement
Yes.
to be explored.
Yes.
Yeah.
Architect Royal, final question. What are you hopeful for the Philippines, for architecture? What are you looking forward to?
And to add to that, you can integrate it. How can you encourage Filipinos to step up and know that they deserve something better, to give that dignity and enhance their quality of life?
What makes me hopeful and excited, especially the young, the new ones, and the generation. What generation is that? What they say na? They even say there's that arrogance, or sometimes they feel so entitled. The
Gen X.
Gen
Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Gen Z is current.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, all those ideas, all those thoughts that's all okay. Like point of view. That can be your observations, no. But me, I'm really excited with this new generation because I always say that there's a thin line between arrogance and confidence. There's also a thin line between inferiority and humility.
Yeah.
So you have to learn how to balance and really stay in the line. No? But what I really look forward to, because the reason why I've been talking to universities and chapters, why I keep saying modern Filipino identity and so on and so forth, is because I really wanted Filipinos to have that dignity and that confidence that there is such a thing as modern Filipino architecture. I'm doing it. I don't think it's a ghost. It's there. It's an airport. It's a stadium. It's the Bangkóta. I mean, you've seen it. And it's real. So my point is, I keep doing that to boost the morale and again the confidence of every Filipino architect. Because we know that we don't like arguments, we don't like confrontation, we always submit.
Yeah.
Right? And again, you always try to conform. No? Kung ano yung bigay sa'yo, okay, ang ganda, beautiful. Does it work for you? Did you even ask if it works for you? Now, the young are like this. They question. They feel that they deserve better, which is for me good. Because if once they're ready, they mature, these are the future of the Philippines, wherein once they become leaders or they become architects and whatever, they'll be the one to say, no, I deserve better. You cannot give me that kind of a building because I deserve better. I cannot accept that because I deserve better. It's not arrogance. It is the value that you give to yourself because you know that you are a Filipino. And that's what the future is promising us. These children, these young ones, the new architects, I'm very hopeful and I'm very excited to see you challenge the status quo.
Architect Royal Pineda, thank you for gracing Lines to Legacies. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Lines to Legacies is a production by the United Architects of the Philippines Dubai chapter. It's directed by me, Alexis Reyes. Edited by Marvin Berses and Surzan James Bulay. Research and writing by Katrina May Lim and Marivic Matellano. Hosted by Alexis Reyes, Irene Domingo, and Monica Morebi. Special hosts are Patrick Soriano and Carmina Austin Mamangun. Guest coordination by Van Adrian Latigay. Social media managing by Norlene Clarice Felizario, Edna Marie Optunalia, and Ran Dudang. Production design by Onofre Giao and Junilin Gallo. Operations is by Chris Garcia. Introduction is by Camila Latigay. And the podcast beat was produced by Patrick Soriano. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Lines to Legacies. See you next time on another episode of Lines to Legacies, a production by the United Architects of the Philippines Dubai chapter.